Hi, I'm Kate Larsen, the writer of Public Open Space, and this is my fourth and final in my short video series for teachers, librarians, and workshop leaders about synthesizing creative writing activities for your poetry and technology lesson plans. When it comes to creative writing activities, there are many different types of free verse and digital poetry that we can use to help students or participants start to synthesize some of these ideas and put them into practice, including one of my favorites, which is photo or video meme-based poems that really sit at the intersection of English and technology curriculums and learning areas, and can be particularly effective for those people who don't think they're good at or aren't really interested in writing or poetry. We now use the term to describe a combination of words and pictures that are usually distributed online. But did you know that the word meme actually comes from memetic, which is like genetic, in that genes are things that travel and reproduce traits within our bodies in the same way? Memetic means that memes are things that reproduce ideas out in the world. We also know that pictures and videos can travel faster and further than words alone can do online, which means that meme poems can reach a potentially ginormous online audience. To get started, make sure that learners have access to a digital device and to photo or video editing software, and ask them to create their own meme poems. These are usually characterized by being short, though not necessarily within a set word limit unless you're using a specific text-only microblogging platform. They're usually a combination of image and text. They're usually easy to share, and not just about the words and the pictures, but also often about the relationship between the two. And that relationship could include things like just putting words over an image or a video, or words over an image or a video that are either inspired by or that respond to that image in some way. And that's what we call ekphrastic poetry. Or words that play with fonts and shapes and sizes to make up an image themselves, and that's what we call concrete poetry. One of the exercises that I like to do with workshop groups is called selfies, in which I ask learners to either take a photograph or series of photographs or a short video without any dialogue that somehow represents them, so it's about themselves. So then take that image or video and write a poem that it inspires or that responds to it in some way, and then take the poem and overlay it using the editing software, an ekphrastic self-portrait in poetry form. You can also have a go at making cento or patchwork poems. These have been around since the 3rd or 4th century, and is when a poet makes a new poem based on the borrowed words of other people. Traditionally, these were poems made up of borrowed lines from other poets' poems, appropriately credited, of course. But in Public Open Space, you'll see that I've made patchworks of computer error messages, of hashtags, and of search finds from social media feeds. So you could set participants the task of finding materials from anywhere, really, from newspapers or magazines, from books or websites, or from social media or search engine results, and combining those snippets into a patchwork of something new. And finally, the essay at the start of Public Open Space talks about some of the recce or hot words that you'll find throughout the collection, which I learned about when I was artist in residence at the Hong Kong Art Centre a couple of years ago. These are words that are used and invented by Hong Kong and Chinese writers instead of their English equivalents as a way of getting around banned word lists online and to avoid being censored or silenced. They also show how language is constantly evolving and how we as writers can be part of that change. So I'd love you to challenge your students to come up with their own new words and associated meanings. And I really look forward to seeing what they come up with. This video has been recorded in Tandanya, Adelaide, and I just wanted to acknowledge and thank the traditional owners of the Ghana, the Noongar, Wadi Wadi, Yuan and Gabrielino Tongva lands, where my book was made, as well as to the people of Hong Kong where it began. I hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to hear what you think. You can find me online at Kate Larsen Keys.